of the cool things about Bombay Hook is that it's either a drive-through or hiking. There's hiking trails here, but a lot of the paths you can just drive around, pull over, and just continue on your way whenever you're ready. So it's nice that it gives you some options. Great blue heron just flew by. Speed bump. And I'm gonna hang out here for a little bit. Got some ducks. And it looks like a bald eagle's out there. Good morning, everybody. Ooh, it's windy and it's cold. Today is March 18th, springtime, and today I am at Bombay Hook National Wildlife Refuge. I've never been here in the spring, so this is new for me. I usually come in October, November, December. I usually come down during the winter migration of a lot of the birds. So I'm kind of curious to see what is here in the spring. Right now it is 32 degrees out. It is cold. It's very windy. It's supposed to get up to 60 degrees, so we'll see what happens. But I came down here, I love this place. It's a great place to come down here and photograph the birds. And that is the plan for today. One of the nice things about this park, it's paved roads that kind of circle the whole refuge, and there's some other parts of the roads that kind of cut through different areas, but you can pretty much just drive around and get in and out of your car as needed, to photograph a lot of the stuff that's out here. You can walk around if you want. There are some hiking trails here that you can hike. There's a boardwalk area that you can walk out the boardwalk that takes you out to some of the marshlands. There's some lookout towers that you can hike to. And I'm just checking out there's back out here, there's a flock of birds out there. Or ducks, or I'm not sure what they are actually. I'm gonna pull up and kind of check out and see what they are. So, but for the most part, it's kind of quiet here. There's nobody here right now, which is interesting. I'm not used to that. I'm used to this being pretty much full of cars. I'm used to this area here being full of all different types of ducks and waterfowl. But we'll see what the day holds. All kinds of birds here. Birds, hawks, falcons, eagles, owls, all kinds of waterfowl. Depending on the time of the year. So, again, that's kind of what I'm interested in seeing, what's here. Trying to figure out if that's an eagle or I can't tell. And it just, is it a harrier? We'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Not sure what that was, but I've also realized that my battery's low, of course. That's pretty much a given. Alright, let's get started. I'm gonna pull up and get some shots of those birds and see if I can figure out what they are. It is a little windy today. All right, so here's a kind of a idea of what you can expect to see here different times of the year. Sign number 2. And sign number 3. That's a bald eagle. And bald eagle just landed in that tree over there. Another bald eagle? Can't tell. Ooh, I cannot believe how cold out it is. My hands are getting numb. It is another bald eagle. There's a couple bald eagles out there. All right, just getting some video of the one that's in the tree across the pool here. This is Raymond Pool. I'll put up a map of this area and kind of like show where I'm at different times during the day. All right, I gotta get my gloves. My hands are numb. I'm so glad I brought them. I wasn't even gonna bring them. The question is, where are they? So that bald eagle is in the trees right across this pool right here, pond pool. And there's another bald eagle that keeps flying around. And there's a blue heron. Let's see if I can get this guy flying off into the sun. Behind the trees. I'm attempting to shoot handheld, but the wind is making that very difficult. All right, I'm gonna move up a little bit further. Up Raymond Pool. I'm gonna stop here for a second. It's a shame he's got a branch that's like creating a shadow right across his face. Gonna give it a few minutes and then I'll head over to the sheerness pool. Check that out. Alright, moving on. Let's go see what else we can find. Take a look at this sign. We head back to the car and drive around some more. Mallard duck. Some Canada geese. Somebody flying up over there. He's just enjoying the wind currents and just gliding. Alrighty, so this is the sheerness pool. We're gonna stop up here, hang out for a little bit. Alright, so I'm hanging out right now at the sheerness pond, and there's some large birds that are kind of flying over the tree line out there. I can't tell what they are from here. I'm seeing if they come a little closer. But the wind is, it's pretty brutal. Trying to hold the camera and the wind's blowing me, the camera, and it's just making it really difficult. So I'm in the back of the van with the tailgate up, and it's kind of blocking all the wind, and it actually helps quite a bit. The sun feels good. Still chilly out here though. I don't know what the 60-degree thing, yeah, I don't think that's happening. It's cold. Got a lot of birds that are kind of flying over, some different hawks, and there's quite a few bald eagle down here still. Usually see quite a bit of them in the fall, and so it's nice to see that there's still a whole lot of them down here. So I'm here all day, so I'm just kind of taking my time and making my way around, still on the first loop. So, all good. What do we got over there? All right, so I'm about ready to move on from the Sheerness pool. I will say that the bird activity, that red-winged blackbird is back. I will say that the bird activity, or the waterfowl especially, is definitely a lot less than what I would typically see in the fall. Interesting. I kind of expected it. You know, I just didn't think that there would be a lot of activity as far as the waterfowl compared to in the spring compared to the fall. But there's still a lot of birds down here. Seen a lot of bald eagles, which kind of surprised me a little bit. And there's hawks that are flying around. Some harriers. A lot of great blue heron I've seen. You got some swans out here. Obviously the Canada geese are out here. A bunch of seagulls, of course. And there's still a lot of birds out here. So it's definitely worthwhile to come out here. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it. The harrier hawk is just buzzing the top of the grasses over there. I think I'm gonna head. I think there's a hiking trail. There's a hiking trail a little further down here. I think I'm gonna stop over there, and I'll go hiking back there a little bit. Maybe it won't be as windy back there. There's usually a lot of bluebirds back there. We'll see. But yeah, just go for a nice little walk and try to warm up. All right, the one trail I believe is up here on the left-hand side, right around this bend. So I'll meet everybody up there. What is out there? That is the question. All right, so it's kind of nice back here. The sun feels really good. I feel like it's about 10-15 degrees warmer back here. No wind so far. That's a plus. So yeah, it's actually pretty nice back here. We're kind of behind the pool areas, or the pond areas. This is the kind of like the tree lined area that you were seeing in the background. And that's basically where this loop trail will go around. There is a couple other trails that we'll hit up. The one trail is kind of a short trail that has a small little lookout tower. There's the boardwalk trail. We'll check that out. Some sweet gum trees around here somewhere. It's dropping its balls. It's one of the sweet gum balls, seeds, pods, spherical, pointy thing. Interesting. Some additional foundation pieces. I'm getting stuck in thorn bushes of all things. Can't get away from them. Not sure what it is. Alrighty. Moving right along. More holly. Oh, it's actually really nice back here. It feels so good after being in that. It was like being in a wind tunnel. Cool tree. I like it. Love the roots and the branches kind of mirroring themselves. You can hear all those ducks not happy about something. Alright, so this is the backside of one of the pooling areas. Here, come on. There's a path out here we can follow. Get a better view of the pooling area. Sneak our way back here. Just want to make sure there's no wildlife in these grasses. Just gotta take it really slow. Alrighty, we get back on the trail. Alright, so we definitely have beaver activity. That's pretty old. There's some there. There's some more over here. It's kind of swampy out there. I think they're frogs. Alrighty, we are back on the auto trail. There's the log stack. It's always there. I think I'd be surprised. I'd feel lost if it wasn't there. Further down. Or this is the Bear Swamp Trail that follows along the Bear Swamp Pool. So let's go. This is a very short trail. This trail is probably like a quarter mile, if that. There is, I believe there's an observation tower at the end of it. There's at least a dock, or there used to be a dock. But the observation tower, last few times I was here, it was closed. So this does loop around. All right, that is the observation tower. And up here on the right is that little dock. Geese. Otherwise, pretty quiet. Trees are in bloom. Let's check out the observation tower. Alrighty. This is the Bear Swamp observation tower. Nice to see the red maple in bloom. Soon these little guys will fall off and leaves will start taking over. But there's a lot of red maple in this area. Between the red maple and the sweet gum, it's pretty much covered. You know, a few pines, no beech trees, and a few other odd species that I wasn't familiar with. Alright, we'll take the long way back to the boardwalk. I mean back to the car. Something else to keep in mind. Different times of the year, you're going to have different species of birds that are going to be here. So I mean, you can check the Bombay Hook National Wildlife Refuge website, and so cool. And they'll tell you kind of what to expect. I think they break it down on like a per month basis as to what birds are migrating through or what birds you can expect to see in any given month. But that's something you're interested in. Might want to take a look at that. Over here on the right, here, check this out. How beautiful is this? Try not to step on any. Got some beautiful ferns starting to come up. They are so cool. I love ferns. Sun's hitting them a little harshly, but not too bad. So cool. Pretty soon this whole floor will be covered with them. I mean, you can look over here. To the right. All the ferns in the forest are to the right. Pretty cool. It's nice to see some green among the shades of brown. All the leaves are brown, but the ferns are green. All right. Here you go. I didn't get my treetop shot today. All right. Moving on. Squirrel. Alright, just about back at the car. Just got some video and a couple photos of a red-bellied woodpecker. Last bit of Bear Swamp pool, as we will go around and redo the loop. I might stop at the boardwalk and check that out, depending on how crowded it is. So let's move on. Head to our next stop. All right, so I just spotted first turtles of the season in what appears to be a little vernal pool. Right off the side of the road, and I noticed this log as I was going by is where are we at here? Right over here. There's at least 6 or 7 turtles on that one, and then there's another log over here. There's a whole bunch of turtles. Can't tell what kind of turtles they are. There's a lot of brush that's kind of in the way, but it's nice to see. I'm gonna get my other camera and see if we can get one of them. A couple of them just jumped in the water. I guess I'm making them nervous. All right, so I circled around and we are gonna take a walk along the boardwalk trail. Some signage. All right, so we're gonna follow this trail around. I believe there'll be some boardwalks. If not, they're gonna have to rename it. I know different times of the year there's different marshy creatures back here. Muskrats, probably some marsh wren, fiddler crabs back here, turtles, snake or two. But like I say, it's not even spring yet. Well, a few days away, but so I'm not sure if anything's going to be out of hibernation or what's going on, but it's worth a look and we see what we can find. Type of cedar. Here's a view from up top. All the stuff. Got some pretty gnarly looking trees back here. Swampy area. Alright, so the trail split off. I went to the right, which kind of runs us around that little pond area. Hey, there's a lookout tower up here. We can't get to it. It doesn't look like it's in that great a shape anyway. Yeah, I don't know how much I would trust that. All right, it really opens up out here. You definitely get that coastal beach marshy smell. I can see in the mud over here, right along the boardwalk, there's tiny little holes that look like crab type holes. I'm gonna hang out here, see if anything awakens. All right, I am slowly working my way up, and I'm about 15 feet away from some that I can see, and they definitely sensed my presence. They stopped moving. That's a fiddler crab. There's another one. As I'm walking by, all you see is the ground moving. He's a pretty big one. I would say they range in size from about a dime to a little bit bigger than a $50. All right, gonna make our way out here. Oh, what do we got flying over here? Try to get a shot of this guy. Kind of a sandy, dirt, gravelly type of trail. All right, just completed that loop. Back onto this boardwalk, and this will take us back to where we parked. We are at the Sheerness Pool Overlook, or Observation Tower. I remember the last time I was here, I walked all the way out to the observation tower, up the observation tower, and then I realized I had left my camera in the car. Needless to say, I did not forget my camera this time. I could not believe I walked all the way out here and not realize I didn't have my camera with me. All right, I'll meet you up at the top. So here is the view. This gives you a pretty good oversight into the whole refuge. Out there is where we were sitting on that stump by the water, where that cool looking tree was. And I don't know if you can see that black car out there. That's where we were photographing the blue heron. And then this morning we were photographing some of the waterfowl. All right, so that's going to do it for today. Thanks for joining me here at Bombay Hook National Wildlife Refuge. It's been a beautiful day. Good day for photographing some birds. Yeah, not too bad. Kind of blinded by the sun. But yeah, overall, good day. Really nice. So thanks again for watching, and I will catch everybody at the next video. Peace.